All right, we've got, I had Phil, and now he's been replaced with Read AI. I don't really know if I want Read AI in the meeting. Let's see what Phil's comfortable with. Too much AI. It's AI overload. All right. We have Phil joining us currently without microphone or without video. But, whoa, here we go.
Oh,
Hey,
here we
there we
go.
go.
Hey, hello.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's people everywhere.
Yeah, we got people in the tap room. So
Have you?
one being my daughter.
Nice. You got like IT support there?
Yeah, she's telling me what to do. So I lost my mojo with IT a long time ago. So
Oh, fair enough. Do you want to
the world
ask her opinion on whether we should let read.ai into our meeting?
should we let read.ai into our meeting? Should, no. Who's that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, you're at a brewery,
Hey,
so does that mean you've got a beer?
I do. I've got here
Oh,
are Hayes, obviously. So our latest hazy, so NZ hazy. So
nice.
it's our second time we brewed it. We brewed it last year, and it was our quickest selling hazy. Beat Cloudscapes in sales and how fast it sold. So we brought it back. So and I've got another couple of people in the tap room at the moment enjoying that. Can't kick them out, but anyway, that's fine.
Right, I've got the Traveller Australian Lager sponsored beer.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. This is the full strength 4.2%. So I think this is new. They had the mid strength one. I imagine it's very similar, but let's give it a go.
Yeah. I haven't tried any of the Traveller beers yet, so
I haven't.
I'm keen to give them a go. So
Let's get. I'll take. Oh, that's good. Let's get a little screenshot. You got your can there. Let's see if I can.
yep. It's
Man, this light behind me is just awful.
yeah.
All right, I took like 50
Cool.
screenshots.
Yeah, no, because I've had a few beers from Adzy's ABV voyage down south. So we gave about 3 cartons of hiker beer for him and Joel to take on their road trip, and I think we got about double that back. So which was very generous of all the different breweries they went to. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
so,
That the beer you're drinking now, is that you had that on tap when I went there for the first time to do the Adam beer, I think, from
probably
memory.
did. Yeah, it would have been about that stage. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we brought it back because everyone was sort of wanting it again. So we try and sort of mix up our hazy IPAs. So because that seems to be our best selling line. So which is good, but we always try and do something new. And we actually just can't remember. We just ordered some hops today, a new experimental hop. So for our next hazy IPA. So and then we'll bring Cloudscapes back in the lead up to Gabs because we've got a stand at Gabs in Brisbane this year. So
Oh, nice.
seeing I got 52. So in the hottest 100, we thought we'd better bring that back for Gabs.
So that beer is not always available?
No, it's really weird. Like we got 52 in the hottest 100, and we brewed 5,000 liters of it.
Yeah, wow.
Mental. So I always say to people, if it was actually, votes per liter of beer, we probably would have been number one. But
yeah,
anyway.
true. Punching above your weight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what we do here at Hiker, so we try to anyway.
So with the one you're drinking now, is this the first time it's gone into cans? Because I can't remember it being in cans before.
No, we've always always all our beers always go into cans. The only one that probably doesn't is our mid-strength lager because it doesn't really move in cans, so it's more for the tradies that come in. And our canning machine is a little bit difficult with like mid-strength beers, so we sort of try and avoid that, but we definitely do like wee little. So that's the only mid-strength that we put in cans because we always try and do like higher ABV beers because it's part of our sort of business plan in regards to leveraging our 350,000 excise rebate. So it seems to work well. So
yeah, well, we've talked about that on the podcast before. It's kind of what it was designed for in a way, to help kind of brew pub size companies be as experimental as they want with a beer without reaching a crazy price point. And
yeah,
so so you've got some offset against the disadvantage of having a smaller production facility. So for companies like yours, it works perfectly well. For bigger breweries, probably doesn't work well at all. But
no, exactly. Yeah, even like like we've been doing a few contract brews of late, and then just trying to get the price point for other smaller breweries that don't have a canning machine. So we've been doing a few where because we've got our own canning machine to try and give them stock for their venues, but it's a fine balance. Even like the inputs into like canned beer is quite expensive. Like the pack costs, it's up to like, and the labor. That's what I mean. It's like up to $20 just for the packaging material before you input liquid or labor on it, and they sort of come back and balk at the price. And you go, unfortunately, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I remember when we used to cost beers at Black Ops, it used to just blow my mind. Once you like factor in the actual time we used to take on like the staff beers and those real small volume ones, blew my mind how expensive it was to make. Like it was easily double just any other beer. So if you think about that, if you're a small volume brew pub, you're basically paying at least twice what it costs for a decent sized brewery to make beer, and probably, I don't know, a quarter of what it costs for a massive like a CUB or something like that to make beer.
Yeah, totally. There's definitely economies of scale. Like the labor of just brewing, like it takes you one shift to brew a beer, whether it's 1,000 liters or 6,000 liters. So there's definitely there's economies of scale in regards to that. But we just try and be a bit agile. We don't pay ourselves a lot, so that's fine. So it's not, as my daughter just about crashes the car, so that's great.
Oh wow, okay. To flip your camera around, this could be better content than what we're producing here.
Could be.
Yeah. I was slightly worried there for a minute, but I got off track.
No, it's all right. No, she's fine.
Is everything okay?
Yeah. No, she's just not used to driving my car. She just sold her car because we're off to Europe for 3 weeks shortly. So
nice.
And she ended up selling her car because we've just moved literally like within walking distance of the brewery, which is good and bad. So pretty bad actually, but anyway, so it's but she gets the bus to work and things like that. So I just said, well, I hardly use my car anymore, so might as well get rid of yours and share a car for a while. So she's got enough spending money to enjoy Europe. So
nice. Oh, that'd be fun. When are you going over there?
Fly out 24th April. So
wow.
Heading to Munich first, and then go to Springfest, and then she's going over with one of her friends, and they're heading off to Rome and Paris. I've already done those sorts of things, so I'm heading to Czech Republic to check out Pilsen and do a bit of hiking through the Czech Republic, and then we'll catch up again in where are we catching up? Brussels. So catch up again in Brussels, and then we're supposed to run a marathon, but that's been a bit ambitious because I haven't really been training. So it's a great breweries marathon. It's you run through you run through 3 breweries and can actually sample the beers along the way. So but I'm only doing the 17K now. So
what's the furthest you've run before?
I think probably half marathon. So 21. So I'm just, it's not a race, it's a hike, so it'll be fine. So I'm just going to take my time.
Yeah, nice. That sounds good.
And then spend a bit of time in Brussels, and then we'll head to, my ex-wife is Danish, so Jo, my daughter, wants to go to Denmark, so had to check that off with the ex-wife. So we're heading there, and then going to McKellar beer celebration. So, and Joe keeps going, this is not a, a beer holiday. I went,
it's a work trip
mate,
now.
it's a work trip. So yeah, do that, then head to London and then head home. So it'll be good. It'll be good because I haven't had a decent break for quite a long time, with building the brewery and stuff like that. So it's sort of, just need to sort of take a bit of time out and enjoy life a little bit rather than 24/7 working on hiker. So which has been pretty mental the last few years. So
for sure. Yeah. And she works in the brewery too, right?
Oh, she helps. She helps on weekends at tap rooms. Yeah, so she's got a 9-to-5 job with Queensland Health, and then she's right into a beer. So and now she wants to be a beer judge. So so I got like Daniel training her up, and we're heading to Babs Brisbane Amateur Beer Brewers next Thursday. So she's gonna go and learn a bit about judging beer and stuff like that. But yeah, she's right into it. She wants to take over the brewery when I die. Hopefully not too soon. So, but I keep saying, don't think running a brewery's a walk in the park. So anyway, but yeah, she does love it, and I think she's obviously very proud of what Daniel and I have achieved. So yeah, she's a big supporter. So
yeah, that's good. So is it gonna be difficult to run the business without you guys there?
It's so we're actually hiring our first employee from next week, so which will be good. Okay. So so it's a big step for us. So Dougal is starting. So he's currently working as a teacher aide at a primary school. So he's taking a term off. So and he'll come and he's a home brewer. Doesn't necessarily want to be a brewer, but loves the industry and stuff like that. So we'll just give that a try for a little bit. And we've got a lot of regulars and stuff that'll help out, and my other daughter and a few other bits and pieces, like for some of the busier events that are happening while I'm away. But hopefully it'll work out. So I want to try and move to also, like with Dougal here, doing less in the business and work on the business. So we've got some big plans, and at the moment, cleaning floors and cleaning toilets is probably not the best the best use of my time. So we're just going to try and balance that, and just with cash flow and stuff like that. So, but we're definitely keen because we got some big plans happening in the next month or two. So which will be good.
Nice. Anything you want to announce exclusively to our massive audience?
Well, we're definitely we're going to do an equity crowd raise, fundraise.
Oh.
So, we're going to put the toe in the water. So I've been working with the guys at Birchall. Yeah. And we're just going to do a very soft launch, do an EOI for 1 week just to see if there's an appetite, because I'm a bit nervous about it. I don't want to invest too much money into it because obviously lots of VAs happening, the economy the way it is, and things like that. So we just want to test the water in regards to is there an appetite out there? Because what we want to do, there's 3 main things we want to do. One is put a shipping container kitchen in. So that's another revenue stream for the business. So that's one. Do the beer garden. Also put a small distillery in. So then we can do RTDs, because we can't produce RTDs at the moment. And we're just going through council at the moment to get our decibel reading increased. So then, because the grand plan is to actually then have ticketed live music here. So nice. I think, because we've got the space to do it. So if we can have sort of up and coming bands coming through and actually have it at the brewery, because it's all, for us, our model is all about, over the bar sales. So, so if we can actually do that and generate, put 300 people in here to watch live music on a Saturday night, ticketed event, that'll be a good coin through the door. So,
any interest in a aspiring jingle player? Writer?
Well, you're pretty good at it. That tune's very catchy.
More on that later. I don't know if I'm ready to perform it live at your brewery, but I might need like 3 of those cloud skates to get
Yeah,
me through that.
exactly. Yeah. So, but no, but it's exciting. So we're just working through, the pitch for that, and the whole thing is it was interesting. Like the virtual chat was interesting because they're going, "Oh, what's your exit strategy? You're going to sell to CEB or Line?" I'm saying, I think those days are done.
Yeah.
I said that ours is actually about trying to generate enough revenue with no debt to then be able to give dividends. So that's sort of the model that we're wanting to, because we don't ever intend to get like massive, like wholesale is not our main game, and I think wholesale is way too hard anyway.
100%.
There's just no money in it. So we just want to use our competitive advantage, which is at the size of our venue and our beer. Oh,
Nice. We've got a surprise guest.
See you, Derek.
What's happening? Are you at dinner?
Oh, yeah. Unmute yourself.
You're muted. Hello, everybody. You're muted, Hendo. They can probably hear us, but we cannot hear you.
No, can't hear you, mate.
Can't hear you. Hello, everybody. Cannot hear what Hendo is saying.
Hello.
See you, Hendo. Love it.
Has he got an apron on?
It looks like it must be doing some sort of fancy beer event of some description.
Yeah. Did Wee Little win? No, he doesn't know.
I don't think I mean,
oh, he's gone.
I assume he couldn't hear us and we couldn't hear him, but he looked very happy, didn't he?
He did. He must. Must have been a few good days judging. So
right. That's probably the first time the podcast has been broadcast live to people eating dinner.
And in Korea.
Definitely first time in Korea. Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, because Hendo took a couple of our beers over because as a judge he got some free entries. So he said, "Oh, do you want me to take some of your beer?" Korea's not our target market, but it's like, sure, why not? So yeah, well, he took Wee Little, and he also took one of his birthday beers, Twilight. So yeah, so we figured they were probably the best two because we madly put them in just after Royal Queensland Beer Awards. So it was like, oh well, like let's put one of our best, which was Wee Little, and obviously his birthday beer. So we thought we'd split it. So
well,
yeah, be interesting to see how they go.
If it goes well, you can use that on your crowdfunding as a bit of a proof.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was the whole thing. Like, part of our strategy was to push hard for Gab's Hottest 100. So getting 52 was amazing. And also, we threw the kitchen sink at the Royal Queensland Beer Awards, brewed way too much beer. But it was all about our last year of being in the category for best new brewery. So so it paid off in the end. So and then Jag the champion brew pub as well. So which was
that's amazing.
Bit of a added bonus. Yeah,
you had a hell of a run. Are you sending beers to the ABAs?
Yeah. So we're sending all our gold medal winners from Queensland. So Royal Queensland. So we didn't enter ABAs last year. So this is our first run at it because we wanted to sort of dial in our brew house a bit because there is a trophy for best new entrant, so which is the Gary Shepherd trophy. So we just figured we had five gold medal winning beers, so we just sent all 5 to ABA. So we'll see how we go there. And
nice.
then
and are you going down to that?
I'll be in Europe. So
you will be, yeah.
Daniel's going down, so he's judging, and then he's going back down for the dinner. So, but also, what other competition we've entered? Oh, we sent Wee Little to World Beer Cup, so in Vegas. So it gets announced on the 24th of this month. So yeah. So anyway, because Wee Little's sort of been our little golden child. It was the first beer we ever brewed, and it just keeps winning gold. So
that's the mid strength, yeah.
Yeah, mid-strength, the light Scottish ale, which is, so we picked a random style to commission the brew house in case, because it's not a massive malt bill, so if we had to dump it, it wasn't going to cost us a lot of money. Yeah. And it's been it's a good story. So we've had to keep it on. It was only going to be a one-off, but now it's part of core range. It probably outsells our mid-strength lager 2-1. So
Really?
we and ah about Daniel's quite keen to get rid of the mid-strength lager, but I sort of think you need to keep it for the tradies that come in. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
Yeah.
It's sort of the beer that you just need to have on, even though it's not a massive seller.
Yeah, I think that would be the right insight. But yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that style of beer to outsell a mid-strength lager.
No, we've been really surprised. So, but yeah,
I guess your audience is probably fairly crafty, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Customers.
Yeah, we don't get a massive amount of tradies in. We get a few, but yeah, it's very much locals and definitely lots of craft beer lovers. So it's good to have like a mid.
How much mid-strength does Adam Shell drink? Because that could be another factor in this mystery.
No, his go-to is Horizon, so our best-selling beer, and that may be why, because he drinks a lot of it.
Just thought of that just then. It's not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence, but he devours that pretty well. Yeah, that's like as soon as you walk in, you know it's a pour because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
But nice. No, but it's like Horizon is our well and above our best-selling beer. So we've actually just I've just because I did the initial label for it, and now so I finally got our graphic designer to actually do a better label. So the next batch has got the new design. So because that's the beer we're gonna push for Gab's Hottest 100 for this year. I think we're gonna move to something our most popular beer that's around all year.
Wow, interesting. Why would you do that if you got such a good result with the other one?
I don't know. It's still early days. We're still umming and ahhing. So, but it seems to. Well, it ended up getting Horizon got 70th in the hottest new beers of 2023. So we actually thought Cloudscapes was eligible for that, but because we had a tap takeover at Soapbox, on the 22nd of December, and it was on there. They went, oh no, it was actually in 2022. I went, oh God, we forgot about that. So anyway, 8 days, well, 8 or 9 days. Who would have thought? But anyway, it would have got third, I think, in the hottest new beers. But anyway, we were happy with the result.
Yeah, for sure. You got some support there. So I guess you can channel that wherever you want to. But it is hard to. It is. I remember one of the lessons at Black Ops was it was quite hard. We had Goat 1 year as it was like clearly our most. Well, we had Pale Ale as a flagship beer, and then Goat came on and sort of overtook it. And so 1 year we decided to just say, okay, we're going to go all in on Goat because we feel like this beer is going to overtake Pale Ale. And it did, and it went really well. But then we had the similar thing happen with East Coast Haze, where East Coast Haze became our most popular local beer. And we were just in two minds about which one we should push. And we kind of thought East Coast Haze would do better than Goat because it sold more. But Goat just proved to be sticky, and it just did much better. And East Coast Haze didn't do as well.
Yeah,
and ultimately, over time, kind of dropped off.
Yeah, and I think it's probably, like those real craft beer lovers, they like those bigger beers. So they're the ones that, probably vote more than, the average regular that comes in. So
yeah, it could be that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we've still got plenty of time to think about it, but that's what we're sort of thinking at the moment. So we'll
all right, let's get onto the news. So there's not a huge amount here, but the first one is one that you can talk about because it's the IBA have got a board meeting coming up, and they've got elections open. And I saw your name on the list.
Yeah. So the AGM's coming up, and there's a few things happening there. So one is, they're wanting to change the constitution, which is, I think, a lot of it makes sense. So there's no cap on, liters produced. But from my understanding, it's caused a bit of controversy in South Australia because it would allow Coopers to join the IBA. And a lot of the smaller breweries in South Australia aren't very supportive of that because they see Coopers as nearly like a multinational that have cap contracts, that sort of keep them out. So I sort of get that. But yeah, so there's that. And then it's also increasing the number of directors, I think from 5 to 7. So there's actually, so under the current constitution, there's two vacancies. If the new constitution gets through, it'll be 4. So yeah, so I've decided, stupidly, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm putting my hat in the ring to nominate to become a director. So yeah, there's 11 nominations, and I think the most pleasing thing for me was that there was, out of the 11, 5 were from Queensland.
Yeah,
so,
I can see five from Queensland here. Amazing.
Which is really good because the current board is, I think, mainly made up. I think they're all Victorian and one from maybe ACT, I think. So yeah, so it's been very southern state focused. So I think so I think it's good. I think, and there's a good bit of diversity in the mix. Like Annalise from Matic, I think should be good. And there was another lady from, I think, Coastal Brewing, Helen Black, I think her name is. So yeah, so I think it's good because the IBA, I think at the moment, I don't think it's lost its way, but I think it's just got no money, so it can't do anything. So it's focused on lobbying federal government to get funding, just like Wine Australia.
Yeah.
Because Wine Australia gets $20 or $22 million a year. The IBA gets nothing. So they've seemed to have, the IBA sort of bunkered down and not actually like cancelling BrewCon, all these events, which I sort of get because they're after the big prize, which is government funding. But you sort of need to be able to also promote craft, independent craft beer. It's like, I think, cancelling BrewCon was a mistake. I think, like that they bought Good Beer Week and haven't done anything with it. And I know it takes resources to put all these sorts of things on, but it's sort of there's you got to do everything. If you look at the Brewers Association, I watched from BrewCon, the president of the Brewers Association. They've got multiple arms. They've been around forever though, but they got a publishing arm. They got a home brewers arm. They've got events arm. They've got obviously their lobbying of government and things like that. So, but they obviously got multiple streams. So I think the IBA just needs to broaden it out, and that's why next Tuesday at Hiker, Adzi and I, we have many conversations over a few horizons. Because there hasn't really been a Queensland chapter of the IBA for a while. So I know there was a conversation, with when Kylie was on the pod a month or so ago. So from that, because Adzi was talking to me about, let's start a separate association and things like that. So we reached out. We've had some meetings, and we're next Tuesday at Hiker. We're putting on some beers and pizza. I think we've got like 45 people coming, which is really pleasing. We actually want to start talking about, do we want to revive the Queensland chapter? And for me, I've got lots of ideas of what it should be, but I actually want to hear from everyone to go, well, what do you want? Is it education, for brewers, or is it events, or is it, lobbying Queensland government for to sort of ease up the artisan license, or whatever. So yeah, so that should be exciting. So yeah, we've got a lot of people coming to that. So which is pleasing. So there's an appetite, and seeing 5 people nominate from Queensland for the IBA board, actually sort of says that people want to do stuff. So in Queensland, so it'll be good.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, if you're paying member, I suppose you have to be to vote, don't you? A brewery member. Then you can vote before the 28th. Vote one Phil or any of the other guys, because there's some great people in there too. It's not just
no, some
five
really
random
good people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, if I get up, I get up. If I don't, I don't. I'm not going to die in the ditch over it. But yeah. So yeah, have a look at all the nominees and vote for who you think will do a good job. I'm time poor as it is. Like, adding another, adding something else to my list is like, I just felt that it was probably time, because I was sort of, because for those that know me, I sort of reinvigorated the Royal Queensland Beer Awards, and like the advisory group, a number of them asked me to join the advisory group to come back because I got made redundant from the RNA. And I basically said, I don't want to have it. Like, I'm very passionate about it because I sort of started it, but there's too many wounds there to actually go back and actually, and do stuff. I said, I'm happy to provide advice, but I definitely don't want to do that. So Daniel's got his little passion project in Hiker, which is beer judging. I don't want to judge beers. I just don't find that enjoyable at all. So my passion will be, trying to help the industry.
Nice.
Maybe.
Very good. Well, I'm rooting for you. And you might find out once you get into those meetings that it's very hard to run an association with volunteers and not much of a budget. Is my suspicion, but
exactly. Having worked at the RNA, which is, the board is all volunteers, and all the stewards and everything like that are all volunteers. It's hard herding cats.
Yeah,
it really is. So, and that's where, like, on next Tuesday, it's particularly the Queensland chapter. It's like, who's got the appetite to actually help. So if we want to do these things, it's not going to be just me and Adzi. Like, we actually need people to actually put up their hand and actually, volunteer and actually, and take on some roles.
It'd be interesting to get a sort of a temperature check on how people are feeling about where the industry's at, because I know it's kind of a tale of two, extremes at the moment. There's the companies that are doing very badly, but there's a lot of breweries that I think are doing pretty well. Sounds like you guys are doing quite well.
So we're profitable. Like, it's hard work. That's I've had many a conversation with a lot of different breweries. A lot of people reached out to us just to understand our business model and what we've done. And as I say, you've got to be in control of your own destiny. You've got to have a good venue, and we want to improve ours with the shipping container, but also be vertically integrated. Like, you got to buy your own canning machine. You can't have a mobile canner come in, because they're slugging you $9 a carton. So you've actually, the more you can be vertically integrated and actually, keep your costs low. We don't store any beer off site, and we've got a big enough cold room for that. We just, the whole planning around this place was around, let's try and do everything ourselves. It kills you, but it's the only way to survive.
Yeah, no, you're right. The not having any staff, that's the real big one. If you can run a brewery with two people, you can do it profitably as long as you can get people to come and drink the beer. But once you have staff, it's a really, really, really big step.
It's massive, and I'm freaking out just even putting on someone part-time. It's just like, it's a massive step for us, particularly coming into the quieter months. But I've forecasted everything. We're pretty confident, but there's always stuff that we want to buy. Like, we want to put in a fireplace for winter because we've got no insulation. So it's like, how do we heat this place up? So there's another, like, $6,000 putting in a fireplace. There's just all these bits and pieces. So, and that's, and then it's like, even going through all this minor DA change with council, like that, the application fee, because we've already got an approval for a shipping container kitchen, which was outside. We want to move it inside.
Right.
We've now had to pay $4,000 application fee to council, plus the town planner fee, plus all these other, read new drawings, this, that, and the other. So it's going to cost us like $8,000 for bureaucracy. It's it's the world we live in, unfortunately. So it's all red tape.
That's the game. Yeah, it sucks. But it sounds like the plans are good, and I think having you're really blessed with the way your venue is. It's kind of it's not. You spend money on the right things. You make good decisions around the venue and the equipment in terms of like how fancy you got, So and especially the equipment, because like it's easy to say, you need to be vertically integrated and have your own canning machine, but it's pretty hard to get a decent canning machine without spending too much money.
Yeah, and we were
But you
lucky
guys,
because we got one of the prototypes from Black Fox, which is basically built, at Sumner. So, and he's been great. Like we've had issues with it, but the beauty is he's 15-minute drive away, so he'll come and replace a part. He's basically, I think by the time he's finished, we'll probably have a brand new canning machine. Like he just keeps changing parts over. Like things fail, and he goes, and he's a really smart dude, and he keeps going, yep, replacing with this, replacing with that. Yeah, and it's been good because we've had a couple of breweries fly up from down south who were having trouble with their machines, so they've come and done some canning days with us. So we've looked after Alex, because a lot of you get these home brewers that create build a brewery and sort of don't really understand how canning works, and they think it's plug and play. Canning is not plug and play. There's so many variables, carbonation, temperature, a whole range of things. So
DO levels and all this.
yeah. So, but the more you can do yourself, the better. So, I think we've got the right model. It's just like now sort of capitalizing on the asset and new revenue streams, which is not wholesale, but like food and things like that. So, which is going to be another nightmare, but I think it it's what we need, because food trucks are an absolute nightmare. So, and you make no money out of them.
All right, number 2, good drinks to sell Atomic brand and brew pub. So did you see this one? So this is they got a brew pub in Redfern, I think it is, and
it's interesting because so because good drinks, I don't know how they're traveling, but because they were they nearly bought Stomping Ground or merged with Stomping Ground, and I know they were looking at Ballistic before they went into VA, so they were definitely looking at East Coast options, and Atomic was one of their sort of pilot things. So whether they're completely retracting from the East Coast, I'm not sure.
Well, no, because they just opened that Matzo's brew pub at the sunny coast.
Yeah, have you been there yet? It's epic.
Oh, is it? No, I haven't been there.
Yeah, I went up there over Christmas, New Year, so it's really good. The funny thing is at the back of the pub. So I walked into the public bar. They still got like the TAB going, the Kino and stuff like that. I'm going, oh, where's I went? Oh, you need to go round the back, and it's like this massive open shed, and it's got a big hill at the back, but they've actually turned that into a kids play area, like on the side of the hill. So it's really well done. So
I almost went there. We drove to Harvey Bay for a festival a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of didn't really actually Google how far away Harvey Bay was, and I was thinking, we'd stop there for a beer on the way up, and then it was like a 5-hour drive or something stupid. So I'm like, we didn't need to get there.
No. But no. That's so Matzo's, it was actually quite clever what they did with Matzo's, is when they bought the pub, they sold all the poker machines, and that basically funded them buying the pub. So it was actually quite clever in how they did it. So
this one, I haven't been inside there, but I've sort of gone past there, the Redfern Brew Pub. It's kind of in an area in Sydney where there's loads of breweries, like not far from there, and it just kind of never really. I don't know, that brand just never really sort of took off, did it? It was kind of like it was back when like there was the Pirate Lifes and the Bolters, and I suppose Black Ops to some extent, with like these real hoppy beers that were going really well. And they kind of had this, and it was going to be their like hoppy beer brand, I think.
Yeah, it was more their experimental stuff, wasn't it? So it was, it had its moment in the sun, but the sun didn't last very long. So
well, I don't really remember anyone really ever talking about any of those beers being like particularly good. Like I didn't really ever see them anywhere or hear about them. I mean, it says in here that the brew pub was kind of profitable, but not as profitable as last year. So I suppose as a venue, it's probably still making money, but maybe it just wasn't worth the hassle.
Yeah, exactly. Because and that's, I mean, that, what is that, annual brewing capacity of 250,000 liters.
Yeah.
So it's, so that probably they could go semi large scale, but not that much. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Whether they're just consolidating or looking at other opportunities in the market,
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder
But yeah,
whether it's a reflection of that style of beer or if they just kind of missed the mark with that particular offering. I think it's probably the latter, but
yeah,
I do wonder if that's sort of, the hoppy IPA type beers and hazes are kind of peaked and people are kind of moving
yeah.
back to the kind of traveler type beers or, the either cervezas and that kind of stuff.
Well, definitely, like our two biggest sellers are hazy pale and hazy IPA
Mm,
all day long. So it was
yeah.
like, because we didn't have a hazy IPA on for a while because Hendo mucked up our production schedule for wanting to have two beers for his birthday. So we
Selfish
actually
fucker.
had to. I tell you what, yeah. But anyway, so we didn't have a hazy IPA on, and then last weekend we finally, put on Hira.
Yeah.
And we got smashed all weekend because people just wanted it. So it was like one of our totally random, one of our busiest weekends ever.
Well, I think it is
So
it's not necessarily a style that's going away. It's kind of like it's big it's sort of stayed in the craft scene as opposed to going into the mainstream,
yeah,
more than
exactly.
people probably thought.
True. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think it's the yeah, that's true. Like a lot of people that came in with the craft beer, nerds rather than
Yeah.
the everyday punter, that are going into Dan Murphy's whatever and
And Good
looking
Drinks
for
have never
something.
been really good with that. They've never been particularly crafty with their offerings. It's like their beer is good and their brand is great. They do an amazing job.
Yeah.
But they never really got too far into the whole crafty experimental side of things. As far as I can recall, all their
And
beers
that's
are pretty
probably
easy drinking. And
and that's probably why they did that side project, which was Atomic, because I think it's initially Atomic was just the name of a beer, and then
it was, yeah, it was their pale ale, I
that,
think, yeah.
and then they branched it off as a completely new brand.
Yeah, but there wasn't
Yeah.
really that much room for that beer. Like they had just the normal Gage Roads single fin, which was a pale ale anyway, I think. And then I think the Atomic was like a bigger or slightly higher ABV or maybe hoppier or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, they just didn't seem to really nail that part of the strategy. Like even Stone and Wood, around the time had the counterculture thing, and they were quite relevant with the beers they were bringing out. Bolter have always been good with that.
Mm.
But Good Drinks just didn't really seem to really nail that part of the strategy. So it
Do you
probably was
think? Do
just
you
a
think
bad
that's?
fit for them.
Yeah. Do you think that's also like because they're on the ASX, like with their investors? Like, do you think just to stay middle of the road rather than trying to be more edgy?
No, I think they were just very good at doing what they do. Like,
Mm.
they were they were quite an efficient operation. We went and did a tour of their brewery because I was looking at the software they were using, and they run a pretty tight ship. That venue over there is amazing. The brewery
Mm.
is pretty cool. It's very a hell of a lot of volume comes out of a pretty small space. Like I can't really remember going to a brewery that does that kind of volume that isn't like there's no square inch of spare room there. You
Okay.
know, they've always been a good company to watch because they're basically the only listed legitimate
Mm.
craft sort of brewery, and so they're really the only company you can look at to openly see their strategy, openly see their financials.
Yep.
So I used to follow their stuff all the time, even before we started the brewery. And I just think they've been very, very good at executing on almost everything,
Yeah.
except for this. But then, I guess you could make the argument that this part of the strategy is not that important to them. They
Yeah.
may not be as relevant to the craft beer fan, but they're still selling 20 million liters worth of beer or however much they sell. And
Yeah. Exactly. And it's mean 20 million liters out of Gage Roads. Versus what was that, 250,000 or something liters that they could actually produce at
well,
Atomic.
that was
So
capacity, but they're probably producing
capacity.
nowhere near that.
No, it would be producing nowhere near it. Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
an atomic beer in Queensland for goodness knows how long. So
Yeah. And then you got to think, when we're talking about before with the excise rebate that you get, that's a big benefit to your venue. It's a massive problem for companies like Good Drinks to have this brew pub in Sydney that competes with companies like yours, but doesn't get the benefit of the excise rebate because it's already chewed up in their normal operation.
yeah, correct.
So you need to be basically like a brew dog, like a professional runner of hospitality venues to kind of pull that model off. And I don't know, maybe this one just wasn't one that
Yeah,
fitted well into their plans.
I know Brewdog's brewing a lot of beer at the moment, so they seem to be doing quite well. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're really starting to hit their straps. I think they're finally, with their other venues down south. So I was talking to, who was I talking to? Oh, Jimmy Nails, so from Netherworld, because they normally have their big pinball competition at Brewdog, but they can't in their production area. They can't do it this year because they're too busy. Because we nearly got them over the line to have BPAC at Hiker, but we didn't have enough room supposedly. So, which I find unbelievable. So, there must be a lot of pinball machines. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I went to the Brewdog venue in Melbourne at the Pentridge prison. It's fucking cool as.
Yeah.
So they do a good job. The one in Brisbane's always been good. The beers are good.
Yep.
The hospitality's good. The food's good. So they do it well.
Yeah, no, good on them.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, Gabs pledges 100,000 cash back to support craft beer industry. That's the headline, but if you read the article, it's a bit of creative copywriting, I think.
Yeah, because you got to basically buy your ticket before the 18th of April. So
yeah, it's an early bird. It's an early bird incentive.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Gabs goes this year, particularly like Melbourne moving, like from away from the IBA dinner. So
that'll be a hard one to pull off, I think. I just think it's got such a big connection with, like, you basically all the breweries and brewers are there anyway. I've never been to Good Beer Week or the ABAs and not go to Gabs. Like, you always just go because you're there anyway.
Yeah.
But how many people will actually make the special trip down for Gabs? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think that the one thing they have done well this year is for Brisbane is, rather than having 2 sessions on the Saturday, there's one on the Friday night and then one on the Saturday. So actually splitting it over 2 days. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Good for good for the punters, but it makes it a bit harder for the exhibitors to do 2 days of Gabs.
Yeah, but at least it's only sort of 1 session on each day, so it's not too bad.
But you have to stay there, don't you? I mean, well, you live in Brisbane, so it's fine. But
yeah,
well, people who have to weigh up.
Yeah, but everyone, I suppose, you'd get accommodation anyway. Nobody's sober enough to drive anywhere after Gabs.
Yeah, so you've got your own stand, because you can only do the Gabs one for 1 year, can't you? The newbies one.
They peppered us for a long time, because I don't know. For me, I like Gabs and I like what it's about, but you're sort of preaching to the converted. So you actually you're actually putting beers in front of people that already like craft beer. So it's and by the time they take their cut, you're not making any money out of it. So you're actually losing money. So
it's hard to make money at a festival.
Any festival's hard to make money. So but we ended up deciding that we'd do it, and we'll just see how we go. So it'll be good. Yeah. And
it's always fun, at least.
As long as I don't get thrown out like I did last year, so that's fine.
All right, let's talk about that off air.
We won't go there.
And finally, Sydney Beer Week event submissions are open. So the only reason I put this in here, because I'm just reminding our listeners that Hendo said a few months ago that there was no such thing as any good beer weeks left in Australia, and we got dead wronged immediately after. Well, he got dead wronged immediately after, and there is such thing as Sydney Beer Week, and they're currently open for submissions if people have ideas of events.
So who runs Sydney Beer Week? Is it
Pete Anstey? It's its own standalone thing. Pete Ants, the managing director of Sydney Beer Week. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a standalone thing that's kind of like one of the last ones. Well, I think it is the last one surviving.
Yeah, because that's
Um,
one of the things, Adji and I've been talking about with the Queensland chapter of the IBA is because Bruce Vegas has sort of died.
yeah.
And whether we
Well, the
try and bring
beeries
that
died
back.
as well. Remember the
Yeah,
beeries,
the
and then there
beeries
was
died.
beer and
But
cider, and
like
um,
IBA has the Good Beer Week, they bought that business, and actually
yeah,
that should be a national sort of franchise, like not franchise, but have Good Beer Week Queensland, Good Beer Week,
yeah.
Sydney, and do stuff like that. So I might as well start trying to leverage that brand and actually really promote, indie beer.
Well, you guys do well
So
with the beer muter thing, don't you? Then there's a few of those little sort of
yeah,
small ones that happen. So
yeah, but
it can work.
it can
But
work. Yeah,
yeah.
Bermuda is like, like we've done 3 Bermudas and they've been our 3 best trading days.
Mm.
So by a country mile. So
Yeah, I guess the
they're
question
definitely,
is it, do you need some sort of overarching association to help you do something on a bigger scale, or a brewery is just better self-organizing and doing little things themselves and keep
yeah,
all the money for themselves? And
yeah, exactly. That's true. But I think it's more just that, yeah, like Bermuda seems to work. It's good. Like particularly, yeah, the buses between, it costs us a bit to put on the buses and things like that, but it's well worth it.
mm,
And people love it. So yeah, small things, I think small and agile is better. Like, and
yeah,
that's why I think Gabs have done. I think they'd be nervous about ticket sales. So I think that's why they've
yeah,
probably, because everyone's wanting, leaving their purchasing decision to the last minute. Because like even last year
mm,
we were a bit bullish and we were going to have our own sort of craft beer festival hike. And had the spreadsheet, had how many tickets was break even, all this type of stuff. And like after about 3 weeks, it was like, I've been sold 16 tickets, and it's like,
yeah,
this could actually put us under if if
mm,
if we don't actually sell the. I think it was 220 tickets. I think it was break even point.
right,
So in the end, it was like, this is like, yeah, it was a bit bullish and went, let's just scrap it now. Like let's cut it down
yeah,
because it costs us a little bit. Regards to some southern breweries that already bought like their flights and stuff like that, but it was just like it wasn't worth the risk. And
yeah,
everyone goes, oh, like I was going to buy a ticket. And you going, can you buy? It's
yeah. It's hard. Events are very, very difficult.
it
Super
is,
difficult.
yeah. I think the craft beer festival is, yeah, it's a dying breed. So
Yeah.
I just can't. I think the only one that maybe, like crafted. I've never been to crafted, so I'm keen to actually go down there this year and even maybe potentially have a stand. But yeah,
Crafted
that
was
seems
always
to
the
be.
best one that Black Ops did. That was always our best one by a mile.
Did the, did the, what clip did they take from sales? Was it the usual 50? Can't remember.
Um, I don't think it was that high. I mean, we used to make money from it. I know that much. But we were
Okay.
also the other than the big Grandad Jack's bus, we were the highest selling stand. The 2 or 3 years I did it, we were the highest
Yeah.
selling beer
Okay.
stand. So
Yeah.
we were doing pretty good volume at those things. So it
Yeah.
may not have been the case for something like Gabs though. We never did well at Gabs just because there's so many options and you just buried at the back
Yeah.
somewhere. We didn't have the budget for these big activations and stuff,
Yeah.
but we
Exactly.
crushed crafted. And I don't know if it's the case now. Probably not. It's probably not the same. I think the brand's not quite the same. But
Yeah. No, it's
it,
interesting, but yeah, but I know they get. So I did some research, and they get a grant from Tourism Queensland. They get about 20K a year from the government, so
okay. Yeah.
that helps fund them. Because I was having a look at that in regards to, like if we started like Bruce Vegas 2.0. But the problem is you got to be running at least 2 years before you can actually apply for a grant. So
Right.
yeah, because
Yeah.
then I noticed Crafted actually gets a grant from Tourism Queensland. So obviously doing things right. So
Yeah, they were very good operators too. They're very organized. We used to do collab beers for the musicians and stuff. Like they were pretty onto it.
that's right. That was
Um,
British India. I remember. Yeah.
yeah, British India and the the Delta rigs. We did one for, which went really well. But yeah, that one was always really, but it was more of a, it was sort of, it was a half music festival, half beer festival. It really, to be honest, probably wasn't really about the beer at all. You know, most of the people there want to hang out down the beach, you know, go to a festival, listen to some music, drink seltzers and cider. We used to say cider was our biggest selling drink at the festival.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and that was the same with like beer and cider when it was at the showgrounds. It was pretty much just a music festival that had craft beer there. So yeah, so you got to sort of get out of your lane of just focusing on, you know, the craft beer fanatics and do something a bit different. So
well, you got to do what works. I mean, Gabs has always worked pretty well, and it's that they do a very good job. Like Brisbane Gabs last year was so much fun. It was every bit as good as any Gabs I'd gone to. So hopefully they can keep it going. But I'm not sure if I would go to another Gabs as just a punter, just because. I think the novelty probably has worn off at this point.
Yeah, I think the market's maturing. Everyone's maturing. It's not, you know, the weird and wacky beers. It's a novelty for a few years, and then it sort of dies off. That's what I mean. Like, it's, and the problem is now there's so many beers accessible. You know, it's not like, you know, you can sort of go anywhere now. There's 40. I got the Hop On Brewery Tours like map, and there's like 46 breweries or something within sort of, you know, like the Queensland, Brisbane, Gold Coast area. So it's crazy. There's so much variety out there that you can do on any day. You don't need to go to a craft beer festival. You can just go to the bottle shop and pick up something a bit different. So.
True. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. You should let us know how you go, because I'd be interested to know how that Brisbane Gabs goes.
I'm actually, because we definitely ummed and ahed about it, but in the end it was like, okay, let's try it. And I spoke to a lot of other breweries, and they were saying, that we're going to do it every third year, things like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So but obviously the push for this cashback, you know, you get $20 cash card. That's obviously, I think, just to drive early sales.
Yeah.
Just to sort of shore up their finances.
Yeah, some creative copywriting there, supporting the craft beer industry, but that's okay. You got to do what you got to do. Can't knock the hustle. All right. We've only got one Phil Reacts, because I had one, and I didn't bother looking for any more because I figured there'd be a bunch of questions, and I didn't want to take up too much of your time. Do you have wait? I might have to give you the ability to share. Oh no, you can. Oh no, there we go. If I give you the ability to share your screen, are you comfortable sharing your screen and clicking on this Phil Reacts thing in the show notes?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you got to share. So when you say share your screen, you got to check the box to share audio.
Hang on. So is that desktop one? Is that?
Give that a go. See if you can see the Google. Bring up the Google Doc and whatever you can see there.
Is that?
There we go. Did you share audio?
And then hang on, where's that?
It asks you as soon as you share it. Yeah, I don't think you can do it after you share it. You might have to cancel and
stop share, and then try that again.
When you click the button, it gives you like a little checkbox. It's actually quite confusing. Did you see it?
No. Is that a Mac thing? I don't know. No, I don't know.
Just play it. See what happens.
Try it. See what happens.
Yeah, under Phil Reacts, that one.
Yep.
Right, press play. See, can you hear it? Let me see if I can hear it.
Yep.
Oh, I can't hear it. Okay.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
Oh, can it?
Yeah, there's a thing.
Oh.
So if you click share screen, let me.
Yeah, and I'll go out of that. I'm just trying to. I'll try that again. So if I share screen, it doesn't. Oh, hang on. Share sound. Here we go. I found it.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hang on. I've got to put in my password, which is weird.
Password for Zoom?
Apple
Ah,
with my Mac. Anyway,
here we
let's
go.
try
All
it.
right.
Here we go.
Phil reacts one.
Dan and
Okay.
Hendo, they're the masters of the mic. Talking about beer, they've got the insight. But Hendo's got a special knack. You see, he's got a segment that'll make you agree. It's called Hendo Reacts to Beer Guru's Delight.
Beer Guru's Delight. Nice.
Yeah, that's
Raise your
good.
glass with Hendo, let the beer flow.
Yeah, there we go.
Give his thoughts, let his reaction show. From
Oh, yeah.
brew reviews to beer news, he's got it in his sight. Raise your glass with Hendo, it's gonna be alright.
Okay. All right, you don't have to play the whole thing. So
That's hilarious.
isn't that amazing? So this is 100% AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this Suno thing,
crazy.
suno.com or suno.ai or whatever, I literally went into there and I put in no more than like a couple of sentences saying, I've got a podcast with a guy called Hendo. We have a segment where he reacts to things, create a song based on that, and it produced that instantly.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
AI is amazing. I use it all the time. Like, it's crazy. Like, even I put in this whole heap of stuff the other day. Like, we're getting a video done for the equity crowd fund thing.
Yeah.
I went, here's what I want to do. Write me a script for 2 minutes of 2 minute video. And then you had to tweak it a little bit, but you just like kept putting stuff in, and it just like saves so much time.
It's so crazy. We're definitely all going to be out of a job. All
Yeah.
right, cancel your screen share, and then I'll do some. You got a few more minutes for some questions?
Yeah, for sure.
This is a bit of a lucky or unlucky dip. As you know, we put a thread in the group and asked them for questions, and
Yeah.
I don't read them until we're doing the show live, and there could be all kinds of weird and wonderful shit in here. But let's see what we get.
Yeah, let's have a look.
All right, so we've got question number 1 from Adam Shell. Question: why is Phil cheating on me?
Yeah, well, that's they've got more than you got 12 listeners. We probably only got like 1 or 2 on our pod, so that's fine.
Well, do you want to give it this is a good opportunity to give it a plug if
Yeah,
you
so we're up to episode 3 of Pour It Out. So yeah, so we do it every Tuesday afternoon at Hiker. I think it's just an excuse for Adzi to come and drink beer, but yeah, and we're just sort of trying to just keep it relevant to beer news. And what do we talk about this week? Like some random beer style from Ukraine and things like that. So just try and find interesting topics to talk about. Adzi's got about 16 million other ideas of podcasts coming up, so it'll be interesting.
Nice. All right.
He's an ideas man. So
yeah. Well, we've got 11 listeners, not counting you. So there's 11 people that can go out to Pour It Out.
Yeah, exactly. We might actually get 13. So
exactly. All right. Paul James, when is the East Coast Roast Hiker collab coming? Let's make it. Let's make it.
Let's do that. Yeah. No, we've actually been talking about doing a coffee beer. So
okay.
Yeah, keen to chat. So
nice. All right. Well, just make sure I don't have to commit to like $50,000 of coffee like Hendo did when he won Gabs with his coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're actually talking about our winter range, our winter seasonal. So that actually came up in regards to a coffee beer. So definitely keen to have a chat about that.
Very keen. Well, if it helps, my roaster, who's now full time with me, is also a brewer and came from a brewery before.
Nice
roasting. So yeah, he'd be happy to chat.
We could come down and learn how to roast beers, and he can come up and help brew the beer. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's chat about that. That's cool.
Sounds good. All right, Luigi, if we don't find any other brewery crazy enough to brew our next pod-inspired nectar, would Phil and the guys at Hiker jump in, bite the bullet, and save the day? I feel like you've done enough between the podcast beer and Hendo's 2 birthday beers.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like Adam beer is nearly gone, so we're very happy with that. So we've only got about 5 cartons left. So yeah, so admittedly we put 2 of them into the beer hug boxes. so we're moving a lot through our good friends at Beer Hug. Anyway.
Nice. Well, I mean, it was never going to be a volume seller, was it? With that style.
Exactly, and it was that's what I mean, and yeah, like barrel aged beers in a sort of discounted beer box is always good. So
yeah, I think a red IPA called Smooth Operator, inspired by Carlos Sainz, is the most recent idea. Yeah, which I like. But also red IPA probably not a huge seller, so always good to keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, we've got Ornith on at the moment. That was one of Daniel's from when he had Ornith as his gypsy brand. So that's his little passion project. Yeah, it moves okay, but not massively. So
it's a great style, though.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite styles. But yeah, unfortunately, just people love it, but they don't seem to buy it. So anyway, because that was always with Black Ops Code Red was one of my absolute favorite beers of all time. But and always Code Red for core range.
Right.
It just never it just didn't sell enough.
No. Everyone used to say Code Red for core range, and then but they didn't see the finances. We didn't sell any of it.
Exactly. I feel your pain now.
All right, Darren Gittins, how's the beer hug box going?
Yeah, good. So we're the top flight brewery of the month for Beer Hub. So we're sending out there's 12 cans in the box, and we're probably up to, we just sent the first 25 out today. We've got another 60 to go out next week, and we think we'll probably at least hit the 100 mark by the end of the month. So which is good. So it's good for us, particularly because we brewed a lot of beer for Royal Queensland Beer Awards. So it's a good way of just moving some stock and turning beer back into cash. So it's pretty good value too. Like I think I can't remember how much a box is. It's I think it was like $80 or something for the box, and there's about $130 worth of value in it. So yeah, but no, it's good because
sound like you're going back to your Eka days in the Showbag Pavilion.
Yeah, exactly.
$130 of value.
No. Yeah, but it's actually been good because we were quickly running out of room in our cold room. We were stacked to the roof, so it's actually good to actually see like 25 boxes go out today. It's great. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Give me some room, because like even this morning we canned some, what did we can today? 2 Forest, and I'm going to Daniel. I said, I don't know where we're going to fit this in, and then thankfully the truck came and picked up the 25 boxes. So yeah, there's another 60 going out next week. So yeah,
nice. Adam Scholl says, have we had any results from Korea yet? And then Luigi says, yes, Hendo got in the piss and he's dancing Gangnam Style on the streets of Seoul. That could be accurate. I mean, it looked a bit more classy in the video he just did with this.
He did, but also, what did he say? Was it on the pod last week where he said he was staying near the statue of Gangnam Style or something that? Yeah, the hand thing. So yeah, hopefully, exactly. Haven't seen anything there, but yeah, I think the results is tomorrow. I think from the actual beer awards, not Hendo's Gangnam Style stuff. So we're very curious to see how one of his birthday beers went, and also Wee Little. So the judges were pretty, like he did talk about it last week, but I went through and had a look at it. There's a lot of like, there's not many Korean judges. It's all international. So yeah, which is pretty impressive. But he only took, it's interesting because he only took a 4-pack of each. So whether they actually entered them in the beer awards, they were just roadies for his
personal consumption.
Yeah, it was like only 4 beers? He goes, yeah, that's all I need. I'm going, okay. So I'm interested to see how they judge trophy rounds. Obviously, they don't do trophy rounds. So anyway, first past the post.
Nice. All right. Douglas Grimley says, is brewing a Gabs beer worthwhile for a small brewery? That's a pretty good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Not if it's called Hold the Pork. No. Anyway, that was our one last year.
Yeah, I remember. I remember trying that.
That was a bit of a. Oh, it was an out there beer, but that's because we brewed that with, and like Dougal, who asked the question, he's actually the guy coming to work for us.
Nice.
So, but he's also part of Brisbane Amateur Beer Brewers.
Yeah.
And that's like when we sort of let them loose in regards to the style for last year's beer. And that's where we ended up with sweet and sour rice lager. But they sort of gave them a few more parameters this year that it actually has to be, if it actually goes well, we can actually brew it again without being ridiculously expensive. So, because if it goes well, then you want to be able to replicate it. So I think it's worthwhile. Like, get your name out there. But as we said before, I think it's a bit of fun, and like we're actually being a bit more strategic with it this year too. So we actually brewed the base beer on last Saturday with the home brewers, but we're going to split it into 2. So we're actually going to take off. It's a porter. We're going to take off half the beer as normal porter, and then we're going to put other stuff in for the Gabs beer. So then we've only got like maybe 400 liters of it. So we're not doing a massive 1,000-liter batch that's going to sit in the cold room. We've still got a keg of Hold the Pork. If anyone wants to buy it, happy to sell it.
Put it in the hug the beer box or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like keep looking at it going, we should empty that one day. And it's like, and then it's like, because actually it's in a 20-liter keg, and we're short on 20 liters for Royal Queensland. And I went, I should dump that. I'm going, but we'll probably have to wash that keg about 1,000 times to get the Szechuan pepper out of it. But anyway,
chuck it in the barrel.
It's just there. Yeah, I'll send it. I'll give it to Boyd and like send it off to some other brewery so they can deal with it. Anyway.
All right, last question, Ben Taylor. So Ben works for Traveller. He came to the roastery today and delivered me these beers personally. So shout out to Ben, absolute legend. Will the Hop Nation Mountain Culture collab receive a cease and desist notice from Asahi? So have you got this up on your screen?
Yeah, I have. Okay. It's pretty good.
The Grouse Southern, it's pretty good. Fishing IPA.
Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's not dissimilar, but it's not really, I think it'll be fine.
I sort of think it will be fine too. Yeah, I mean, it's not really, I mean, they're obviously just ripped it off, but I feel like it's different enough to get away with it.
It's different enough I can't see how it would. The one that really intrigued me was Mountain Culture and Stone and Wood, their collab. So, Asahi versus probably, the independent craft brewery, even though they're not part of the IBA. I thought that was an interesting collab. So.
Oh, maybe they're looking for someone else to acquire.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it was interesting. But anyway, I think they'll be fine. I actually thought it was quite well done, the Hop Nation Mountain Culture one. So it's similar, but not close enough.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, and then if they do, it's a limited release beer. So does it really matter too much? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. Lawyers at 10 paces, it'll be, by the time you actually get to it, it'll be all chip, fish and chip wrapping. Which,
Yeah, right, exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's it. That's all we got. Cheers, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for filling in for the boss man.
Yeah. Look, really appreciate it. Awesome. Okay, catch up soon and let's talk about a collab beer.
Oh yeah, sounds good. And fill us in on how you got the Queensland meetup thing next Tuesday, because we'd be interested in, if you want to just send us through an update, we'll say something on the podcast. We'd be interested to know what happens.
I think Hendo may be back, so he might be coming. So
yeah, cool.
So he might be able to do it. Cool, awesome.
Legend. Thanks, mate. See you soon.
See you, mate. See you. Bye.